Well, after the epoxy, time to take this door to the next level. Filler work time. Welcome back to the garage. Alright, good afternoon everybody. 7th of November, about 3:30 or so. Back over after a little bit of an extended absence to get to the work back on this door here. I had some technical difficulties during the last video where I wanted to show you that lightning bolt crease in here and compare it to now. So you can see I'm kind of trying to make my way across. You can definitely see some deformation in there, right in here, a little bit right in there, but not anywhere near the lightning bolt that I had. So it's not quite as sharp as shiny as the last time, but that crease is definitely not as bad. And that was all just with a dolly underneath that was close to the shape of that curve, and then just smacking it with a slapping spoon to try and mold the metal to that curve. So otherwise, I'm going to hit this with body filler now. It's got the couple coats of epoxy on it. I do have some problems. This was a pretty good ding right here. You can see how it kind of rises up a little bit, kind of a peak there. So that'll have to be all filled with body work. And then this damage here from the ding that it took, probably the same, I would say maybe all related to that. And then around this here, but anyway, a couple dings and dents in here. But I'm essentially done with the body work as far as hammer and dolly stuff goes. I'm going to try to be a little bit more precise with the filler work this time, instead of just slathering the whole door down with it and applying it in the spots that need it. So make up maybe a little bit smaller batches as I kind of go through, but we'll see how that goes. All right, time to rough sand. Alright, so that's the 40 grit rough. Obviously you can probably very obviously see the sanding scratches in it. My point wasn't to make it real pretty, just to get to really accentuate the highs and the lows. So I got a low spot here and a little bit there, and right there maybe you can see it. I'm not even on screen when I'm pointing at there. So if you look, so yeah, you can see right there that triangle and that little space above it. That's where the sandpaper's not touching and roughing it up, so that's going to be a low spot. So I got to hit that again with a little bit of filler. This you don't really see that, but you can see that sanding mark there, so I'll hit that again with a little bit of filler. Right there's a low spot. So just around generally, but a lot of this feels like it came out. Still got some high spots in there, as you can see, but that's because they're surrounded by a low spot. That's a huge low spot right there. I just didn't get over there with the filler. So I'm going to make up another batch and feel around the door and see if I can find any more spots and just kind of go over those spots. Second round of filler on there. Filled in a couple of the spots that I needed and came over here and hopefully got that in. You can also see I got the tape line down. So I'll segregate the bottom part of the door from the top part of the door. Hopefully filling in most of these dings here. Actually there's one right there that I didn't get. One up here. But I'm out of filler. So I'll wait for this to cure up and then get back to sanding. Alright, third little batch of filler on there. This spot was just a little bit of a low spot, and then I think a spot that I completely missed, so I covered that. And then I've got this seam here, that's all new filler there. Again, I'm trying to minimize the number of times I'm going back over this stuff. And it still is only 40 grit, and I missed that little spot right there. Darn it. So I'll hit this again with 40 grit, and then I'm gonna start running myself up with 120 or 150, whatever I got on there, or 80 I think, and then 120, 150, and then 220. Start running this up and smoothing it out and see how it comes out and see how it feels. Two more spots on the door that I'm waiting for cure up. Right there was just a little ding on the crease that I missed, and then up here I kind of put that on a little bit heavy. That's the very top of that damaged area. That's definitely the worst part of that. if you look here, if this camera will focus on this close-up, you can kind of see that little lip right here. That was a ding that the door suffered, and that's my level of filler. I used that little tape trick there to kind of give me a hard edge. That's probably about as thick as the filler goes anywhere on the door, maybe a little thicker up there now, but that's about my threshold of pain for putting filler on. So definitely trying to get it as flat as I can, but I'm also not, you know, I realize my limitations here, and I'm afraid if I just keep going back and forth a lot and everything like that, I'm just going to reach essentially a point where I don't know if I'm going to ever get it better. So I'm just kind of making a reasonable decision in my head and stopping with the work there. So as long as these two spots come up pretty well for me, I'm going to call it. Then I'll move on to the bottom here, run a piece of tape along the top side so I get a hard edge from the right side as the camera looks at it, and run some filler across the bottom there, and then hopefully get that filled in. It's about 6:20 or so. If I don't get this done by about 7 o'clock, I'm not going to get epoxy on it just because of the wait times and all that for the epoxy. I'd really like to get that on here tonight, so the next time I come over I can continue work, but we'll see. All right, Bondo on the bottom. Let that cure up. Hey, and guess what? We get to do more sanding. All right, about 10 to 8, I'm going to go ahead and be able to get 2 coats of epoxy on this. So it's prepped. It's shot with 1 wax and grease remover coat. I've got the paint inducing over there. It's been about 10 minutes on that. So a little bit more time on that. I'm going to hit this with another, we got it hung up on the stand, hit it with another wax and grease remover thing and a clean cloth, and then get set up for paint. All right, crappy video, but second coat, here we go. Two wet coats of epoxy primer. Had some crating issues here right on that bend, right on the curve of that, like I've had in the past. So maybe I don't have it figured out. But that's all I'm going to get to this evening. It's a little later than I normally spend here. It's almost 9 o'clock, but I wanted to get paid on here so I can keep going. But I definitely will be in sometime over the weekend. So until then, I'll see you. And actually, I'll see you here in just a second. It's Saturday morning. Back to get work done. Got the epoxy on the door. I'll pull that out. Start looking at doing polyester filler on it for the little spots that are probably imperfect, which I know there's at least a couple. So I'll get this off the rack and start doing that. And then I'll start looking at the boot lid. One other thing I'm going to do with the boot lid is drill holes for the Mark II emblem. I'll show you that when I get there. Before I get going, I want to show you these. I picked up a 4-pack of steel applicating blades for the body filler. I'm not crazy about how the plastic is working out for me. Obviously various sizes there. I picked them up on Amazon. I think they were like 13, 14 bucks. But I'll be using these today and we'll see how they go. Alright, so here's the door as it sits without having done anything to it yet. You can see that there's imperfections in it and stuff. If you can see that in the light, you can see the little discolored areas and stuff, and that's just the Bondo areas, the filler areas with the epoxy over top of it. Same thing that I looked at when I did the other door. Some sanding scratches that I didn't get out. Not too worried about those. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of spots that are going to need polyester filler though, so I guess that's a good thing. Pretty happy with the way that the seam came out there, pretty straight. But I will go over it and check all those parts and put the polyester on there that it needs, and then start working that. Polyester filler on the spots that needed it. Several spots you can see, but I think the vast majority of this is going to get sanded away. The door's in a little bit better shape, I think, left it than I left the other side. So get the polyester sanded off once it cures here, and then it'll be ready for the next 2 coats of epoxy primer, which I'm probably not going to do until the end of the day. Hopefully get a couple more things ready to go in epoxy here and try to do a couple things at once. Inside the paint booth, about 11:10 or so. Everything here that you see is going to get shot with epoxy primer. Got the door done. Pretty happy with the way that it came out. A couple imperfections in there, but nothing too bad. Still some low. I got a little low spot there, but I'm pretty confident that all of this stuff that you see is going to fill in with the build primer. So I'll get that into epoxy, and then that'll probably be it for work on that door today, since I got to let the epoxy cure. Everything else I got over here is pretty much all bonnet stuff. So I got the cross members, the 2 pivot tubes, and then all the little brackets and everything like that. Everything's been hit with 1 round of wax and grease remover. So I'm just going to let this stay and let that stuff dry out. Give it about 30 minutes or so. I'll come back and I'll hit it again, and I'll let that go. Mixing the paint for the door and the rest of those pieces that I showed you just a second ago. Conveniently, the epoxy primer is 1-to-1. The problem that I have is that when you pour the paint in the cup, you can't see the numbers because the numbers are printed inside the cup. And any little bit of paint that runs up the sides covers up the number that you want to go to, so it's hard to get an accurate reading. Anyway, however, with the activator here, it's pretty clear so that you can see the number still, even with the activator in there, and even if I run up the sides a little bit. So I've taken to mixing the activator first, and then the paint, pouring the paint into the activator. Can't do this obviously on other stuff. If you've got a 2-to-1, 4-to-1, something like that, then you're kind of screwed depending on which way your mix goes. But just thought I'd show you that. Kind of a no kidding, well duh moment, but just one of those things that you might not think about. So I had mentioned that I was going to drill out the 2 holes for the Mark II emblem. I'll give you some background here. So this is the boot lid off the black car. So the original Spitfires, this emblem here on the boot lid said Spitfire and the number 4, but there was no other label. There was no Mark I because they didn't know that they were going to have a Mark II, so why would call it a Mark I? So there's no technically there's no such thing as a Spitfire Mark I. It's just a Spitfire. Or a Spitfire 4 is what that emblem said. When they came out with the Mark II, they kept the Spitfire 4, and then it had the little Mark II emblem. Then they came out with the Spitfire Mark III, it just said Spitfire. They got rid of the 4, and they had the Mark III emblem there. And then when they got into later cars, they used a different labeling, something a little bit less costly from than these chrome things. So I don't have the labels, never have had them. They didn't come with Dorothy because this part of the trunk was all rusted out anyway. Didn't come with the black car. Anyway, so, and I don't have the appropriate emblems. So what I did get was off my favorite forum. I got a picture off a boot lid that a guy had done all the measurements, all sorts of cross-reference measurements and everything like that. Really great and really detailed. But it's for a Mark III. So the Mark III Spitfire emblem, remember, doesn't have the 4. So it looks like on the picture and the measurements that he's got for his holes here, they don't match the measurements that I've got on this hood, because probably that 4 number is now here on this car. So instead of drilling holes and crossing my fingers and hoping I'm right, what I think I'm going to just go ahead and do is order up the 2 emblems. I think Rimmers is still having their sale until tomorrow, actually, so that'll give me a good excuse to spend a whole bunch of money in England and go ahead and get those emblems and then get them over here before I drill any holes and get them measured up properly to make sure that I'm not going to mess it up. So that will put that to a future me project. Going over the boot lid and figuring out where the problems still lie. I think I'm happy with that, where it is, but I'm looking for your guys' opinion. So there was a couple low spots that I kind of tapped out a little bit. All in all, it feels pretty smooth. My concern is this. Obviously the oil can over here is a little bit worse than the other spot. So I guess my question is can I get that out? And I don't know. Big flat piece of metal, any little bit of imperfection I would assume in it is going to give you an oil can. This is not like the bonnet where I was able to fix the oil can in the little, just behind the wing part. And I'm going to have supports under this, and the supports should be the little pieces of rubber in between. It should be flush up against this, so I'm not so sure that the support isn't going to stop that. My concern is the car gets in the heat and it starts to warm up, or it starts to cool off, and it's not in a controlled environment like it is now, and the metal expands or contracts, and now that oil can pops into existence or pops out of existence from where I painted it, and now, you know, worst case I crack or destroy the paint or something like that. So I'm looking to you guys that may have done this before or dealt with this before. I have no qualms about stripping this thing down and going after the oil canning. I'm not trying to save time here. I'm pretty happy with how flat it is, but I'm concerned with those results. If you guys think that it would be worth it to me and that I can successfully trace those oil cans out, and it's also a good idea to do that because of environmental effects, I'd appreciate you leaving that in the comments. Thank you. So the paint's been inducing for 30 minutes. Everything's cleaned up. 2 shots of wax and grease remover. It's been about a half an hour since I put that on, so that should be all dry. And I'm going to hit the paint here. Picked up this trick from Ellen. So all these brackets, obviously, I don't want to hang all of them because they're just going to get blown all over the place. Not that these aren't, but these will just get blown all over the place, and I don't really have the room in here to hang. But I can try to minimize the incidental contact between the bracket or whatever this, you know, whatever the particular thing is here, and the tabletop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them like this first, for example, where the majority of the metal is touching the table, and then when I paint them for the other side, I'm just going to take them and flip them over, and then it's just going to barely be touching on the edges of that. And again, this is not a cosmetic piece by any means, so even if it does get a little sticky on the paper, I'm not really all that concerned. So this will take a while, however, because I'm going to do 2 coats and let it run through. 30 minutes in between coats here. So 2 coats on this side, wait a 30-minute shot, or at least, you know, 15 minutes or so after the second coat, just to allow it to dry a little bit. Then I'll flip everything. 1 coat, 30 minutes, another coat, 30 minutes. Same thing with all these tubes. I might rearrange these a little bit better here. I'll shoot the door last because I'm more concerned with the overspray of the door. I'll get whatever overspray is going to get on it, it'll let it get on it, and then I'll paint over top of it. So I'm going to do the door last, essentially just make my way from left to right here. So I'll get that done, and I'll come back and check in a little bit. Before I get too far ahead of myself here, I had a little bit of an epiphany. I'm not using the cup system. If you remember, that's what I used the first time I painted. and it allows you to have like a sealed spray cup. So if I were to turn the gun, you know, pointing straight down towards the ground like I had it set up originally, I would have probably spilled some paint and made a mess a little bit, and the gun doesn't spray. Well, the gun probably sprays as well, but it just not as easy for me. So what I did is just took a couple 2x4s that I don't care about and kind of tilted them up a little bit, so I'll spray them like that. Now this will probably result in missing some spots maybe. Obviously we'll see how that goes, especially when I come around to paint the other sides. I might run into a little bit of a problem, but we'll see what I can come up with that. Front valance here. I had done some extensive metal work on this thing. Not perfect by any means. This was definitely at the beginning of the very first, or close to one of the very first metalworking things that I had done. And I got some epoxy on it just to stop the rusting of it, but I kind of ran out of epoxy towards the end, so this little end down here didn't get it. But most of it did. I'm not that concerned with the epoxy to it. But what I am going to do is go ahead and these big cancer holes that I fixed, you can see the weld there. And then over here you can see that the weld is not, especially not that great. What I'm going to put over top of it, and what I intend to put over top of all of my welds, is this Bondo glass. So this is a short-strand reinforced fiberglass filler. So anywhere where I have welds on the car, I'm going to put this short-strand reinforced fiberglass filler on it. And that's because I'm concerned with pinholes and things like that I might not necessarily see. So this isn't going to be necessarily to help me shape the car. I'll probably put regular filler over this just to do that, but it's going to help provide some reinforcement and all that kind of stuff, and hopefully fill in some of those pinholes. So where you can see that there's dings and dents in this thing still, I'm not going to use that short strand there. I'll use regular filler for that. But I do want to get this I want to get this going. This is my next piece, and then that's the next step for it for now anyway. I got the first coat of epoxy primer on the door and all that stuff in there, and while I'm waiting for that to cure for my 30-minute wait time, I'll show you this fiberglass filler. Quite a bit different as far as the look at it. It's got a green color to it, and if you look at it, it's kind of hard to explain. It looks rough inside. You can almost see every once in a while you can see little strands of the fiberglass kind of sticking out of the mixing stick and everything. So it's definitely different stuff. But it's, comes with its own hardener and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that up. Seems like it's about the same amount of time frame as far as what you have to use it and all that kind of stuff in between, mixing it up and then go ahead and actually waiting for it to cure up and all that kind of stuff. So not too worried about its difference in use. It might adhere a little bit differently because it's got little fiberglass or stuff, strings and strands in it, but not too bad. So we'll mix up, not too much, not going to need too much. You can see how it's really sticky. All that fiberglass kind of sticking together there. Again, this stuff would be for strength, and I'm also using it to fill the little pinholes that I might have left over from welding. That's the biggest reason that I got it. Alright, so hopefully that'll be enough there. Alright, appears to be about the same mixing ratio, for lack of a better way to say, for the hardener versus the filler. By the way, these little metal spreader things never will go back to the plastic ones, ever. Very nice. Stuff sticks together a lot more. You can see how it's almost, just because of all that fiberglass in there, much more cohesive to each other, or to itself I should say. Alright, that looks good. Get to work. Alright, the fiberglass is pretty much cured. I'm going to go at it with 40 grit sandpaper now, between 40 and 80 grit, just to kind of get the contour back a little bit. This is a pain in the rear piece to work on because it's curved and everything like that, but we'll do the best I can. Well, I'm real happy with that. It still needs work, but I mean, as far as covering up and filling in, that stuff did really well. Very easy to sand and work with. Came, still, like I said, I'm going to put body filler on top of it anyway. You can see there's some holes and stuff like that. And I don't know that that's necessarily unexpected with this stuff. But yeah, I'm happy with how that looks and how that came out. So I'll flip the other side around, get that rough sanded, and continue on. That was 40 grit, real, and then out to 80, and the hand sanding that you saw was 100 grit to get in here. So there's still some work to do in here, but it's almost time for me to go put another coat of epoxy on. So I'm going to flip this around, get that cut out on this side here, and I won't, probably won't bore you with this one, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Got all the brackets done, 2 wet coats. All these brackets are done. This went pretty well. It seems to work. We'll see more how sticky it is to the paper. I'm not going to mess with it now. I'll just leave it alone. And I also kind of probably got ahead of myself, but maybe it shouldn't matter. I got 2 more fiberglass patches on the Valance right in here. If you can remember, that's this bracket I had to take out to repair the cancer hole. I had to weld the bracket back in. So I had forgotten those the first time around, so I mixed up some fiberglass real quick, covered that, did a pretty poor but rough sand job down on that. Same at the top, and got epoxy on that for the next visit, so hopefully that I can continue on with this now. And that'll allow me to work it and put more body filler and continue with the bodywork phase to get in that 7-day window. Only got 1 coat on here. I'm not real concerned about that. I did put a heavy wet coat on there, but I'm not concerned with the second coat. I expect to go down to metal as I work through, just like I've done and everything else. Really happy with the way the door came out, though. Alright folks, that's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave a comment below if you have anything to say. Remember, I'm looking for input for boot lid. Do I go at it again, or do I leave it as it is and accept the oil canning? Kind of cross my fingers and hope that nothing will happen. Otherwise, have a good rest of your week. Thanks for watching. Cheers.